Welcome to the Driver's Line. I'm Greg.
And I'm Jordan.
And today, we've got a conversation for you.
That's right. Today's conversation is going to be really fun because we're going to get to pick 3 cars, but only from one brand. That's right. We're going to build the ultimate garage from 3 cars.
Yeah, this is something that's been bopping around the social media landscape for a bit now. We wanted to kind of jump on it as well because we thought it was a really interesting perspective because while some brands really focus on, performance cars, they may kind of lack in other ways, but what are you going to do that it's going to give you like a 3-car garage that satisfies all the needs that you're going to need from a 3-car garage?
Yeah, and I mean, your needs might be unique from other people's and where you really want to add some emphasis. So it's really fun to think about where we're going with this. And I know I struggled to come up with my pick. So I did. I guess I'll start.
Go for it.
Okay. I was stuck between like 4 or 5 different manufacturers, and what I rested on was I wanted something, if it's the ultimate, right? So I think about the ultimate expression of the major area. So the best when it comes to luxury, technology, performance, and then within that, the range has to be pretty wide, right? So I need something that is going to be good off-road or can tow. It can also be a really fast sports car, because that's also the other end of it. So there's just so many options to pick from. So I landed on a choice that honestly I was trying to avoid because I feel like we highlight this brand a lot and it's starting to show some bias. So, but it's just so hard to beat them at this. And it's Porsche.
Yes. Surprise, surprise. Jordan is taking Porsche. They can send our check now. So our monthly mention here.
I tried to avoid this so much. But when I think about it, what I landed on was a sports car. There's also an SUV and a comfortable commuter. So I'll start off with the boring stuff, which is ridiculous when I'm talking about a Porsche, but hey. I'm going to start off with the Porsche Taycan GT because I think that it's a really cool, unique entry into the EV market. That's obviously dominated by Tesla, right? But Porsche takes that and adds their unique performance spin to it. And I know it's an EV, but I'm trying to pick like the 3 most extreme options, right? And EV spoke to that. And I think that Porsche makes a pretty reliable product. They don't put things out that isn't tested. It's very performance oriented, but it's also super comfortable. It's got a decent amount of range. It's not the best in class by far, but it's certainly enough for me to go from point A to point B. And if I need to go past that, I have other cars in my garage. And it also saves me from having to worry about gas, because obviously fuel bills with the other options, it's a little tough, especially when it's premium.
I mean, if you're 3 Porsches in your garage, you're probably not really that worried about filling the tank, but
Yeah. So I started with the Porsche Taycan GT.
That's a good choice.
Yeah. After that, I went to my other pedestrian option.
Pedestrian.
Because they're Porsches, right? And they're not really pedestrian. But I chose the Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT as my SUV.
I'm seeing a trend here.
Okay.
GT. And obviously your sports car is going to have a GT in it too.
Certainly, of course.
So
I like performance.
I'm going to call you GT Jordan.
What can I tell you?
Yes, I like performance.
That. All right, I like it. So naturally, the Cayenne does offer a really unique blend of so many different capabilities. It used to be capable off-road. Not so much anymore.
Not so much anymore. No, I mean, that was the kind of the cool thing. We've talked about this before, so I'm not going to hit on it too hard. But like the first generation Cayenne, kind of an ugly duckling, but this is the one they actually engineered to work both off-road and on, which is really cool. And so in the future generations, they definitely focus more on the on-road performance than off, which is fine because that's where 99% of the people use it. But those first-gen Cayennes, don't sleep on those because they're actually decent off-road.
Yeah, they are. I mean, listen, the current one isn't any necessarily worse than any other crossover SUV that's on the market, right?
Aside from its tires. I mean, you're going to have tires that are obviously very specific to on-road performance, especially
and I can swap them out.
Turbo GT.
I mean, but I can swap them out if I need to. But what I really found interesting about the Cayenne is it can tow, right? Over 7,000 pounds. So that's certainly enough for me to bring if I want to go off-road, right? I could tow a 4-wheeler behind me easily and get there pretty quickly. And in the lap of luxury, right? Full of technology, speedy, reliable. It's good. Good.
Yes. Again, I mean, the reason those can tow is because they have the ZF8 speed instead of the PDK.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're going to have a slightly slower shifting transmission, but it is still the best automatic made.
It's all good. Speaking of all good, well, and of course, what would be a better pick than the Porsche 911 GT3? Because I need something that's loud and fast, and where I don't really care about the other people who I'm driving with. I mean, it's such a great car. I mean, like, you can say so much about it, but it's such a unique vehicle in its class because it has that rear engine setup, but it drives so well, and it's eliminated all the kind of scary bits about it, which I know some people like really love. Like, oh, I'm almost gonna die every corner I'm taking. It's fine, but it's not a Widowmaker anymore, and it's just so fun to drive and to listen to alone, just to start it up. I mean, the exhaust on it is ridiculous. So it provides me with that really true extreme version of the 911, which I love, and still offers me options in my garage for luxury and comfort if I need that too.
Yeah, so, not bad. Good choice. Good choice. I mean, I can't argue with any of those choices.
Well, of course.
I love every single one of them. This has been one of the hardest things that I've had to do, and that's part of the reason why Jordan went first is because I have no notes on this. I have none. I'm going to be shooting from the hip because I have lots of ideas in my head, but none of them felt right until just now.
Okay, well there you go. We've hit it.
And so I'm going to go for it right now, and I'm going to jump on in. And so I am going with a brand that a lot of people consider boring.
Oh, okay.
But I am choosing what I think are their 3 best vehicles.
Okay.
And I do not have an SUV.
Okay, that's fine.
So I'm going to go from least exciting to most exciting. Okay. And so probably the least exciting is going to be the Lexus GSF.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
So you got the hot V8 in there. It sounds fantastic. Obviously, the build quality of that GS is going to be, to the nth degree.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the most luxurious interior because, I mean, Lexuses still feel like a fancy Toyota. I mean, I don't think that can be argued with, right? So they feel like a fancy Toyota, but there's just enough luxury to kind of like make you feel like you're in something special.
For sure.
And so that's part of the reason why I want to go with the GSF. The way that V8 sounds is just otherworldly good.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, it just revs so high. And it just makes those really good sounds. And the Japanese just do a wonderful job with a high-performance V8. So good that I'm going to get 2 of them.
Oh.
And so my second one is also going to have that V8, but is one of the most beautiful, achingly beautiful cars that has come out of any manufacturer, especially Lexus. And it actually works with their design language. Like that's the craziest thing is Lexus has gotten so much grief for the Predator model, whatever you want to call it, which on some things like the SUVs really doesn't work, which is part of the reason I didn't go with the LX570 Land Cruiser, whatever version of the Lexus. It just doesn't work as well on that, and so I don't want it. But on this car, it is just so achingly beautiful, and of course I'm talking about the LC500.
Yeah, that's a great choice.
And the coupe, I'd rather have a convertible just for open roof, but I'm going with the coupe because it looks so good.
It ties in that styling a lot better. But
it does, yeah. It really does. And so, I mean, again, you have ultra luxury interior, but it's the Japanese ultra luxury, so it's kind of toned down a little bit. It's just, just that much more basic, but you're still going to be touching everything that's nice. This car is going to be working into the next millennium.
Yep.
And I mean, it is just going to be the pinnacle, I think, of Lexus before they start transitioning towards more EVs.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point I bring up about the styling on it, because who would expect that Predator mod to work on a sports car?
Yeah, it works.
It really does. Yeah. They did a great job on it.
Yeah. So if I need my daily, that's going to be the GSF. If I need like a weekend cruiser, it'll be the LC500. If I need a sports car, what kind of sports car did Lexus make? The LFA.
Oh, good one. Nice.
One of the most technologically advanced cars of its time. Has that V10 that just sings to you. It sings. Like, I mean, Jeremy Clarkson put it best when he said, it sounds just like achingly beautiful. It kind of like has that, whoo, every time you hit that downshift. Yeah. It almost sounds like it's an animal crying. And it revs so fast that they couldn't put a standard tach in it. They had to put a digital tach in it because there was not a tach that could keep up with the speed of the engine. which
wild.
is absolutely wild. They restyled the mirrors to flow the air into the vents in the car. I mean, into the engine. This thing is just like meticulous with the design, yes. Completely meticulous. They got, as a well-known story, they were so far close to completion on this vehicle. They were ready to launch it. They decided it wasn't good enough. They took it all the way back to the drawing board.
Wild. That's a great pick.
Yeah.
God, it's such a wonderful car.
It's a wonderful car, especially in today's world. It's not going to win any competitions. Like, I mean, from outright speed, it's not much quicker than my Cadillac, you know?
Right.
But, like, I mean, it just gives you that enthralling experience that you're not going to find in almost anything else.
Well, I think what ties all your picks together, too, is there's an appreciation for engineering here, mm-hmm. right? So, like, even from the mechanical standpoint, when you bring up the V8 and the V10, all the way down to the interior materials, like, Lexus knows how to engineer a car.
They do, yep.
And it gives you confidence in it, right? Mm-hmm. So, I think... Actually, both of our picks,
that's what
right?
I was gonna say. I mean, Porsche is super engineering focused, and I mean, both of our cars really respect the engineering,
right?
And I think that's a big part of what really makes them special to us.
There you go. So, strong brand's gonna have some strong engineering behind it.
Absolutely.
Well, what would be your picks for your dream garage?
Yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know if you think our dream garages stink, or if they're awesome, or what your dream garage would be. We'd really be interested to hear it.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us on The Driver's Line.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss a thing.